You are officially in my house, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played. Coming to you live from Detroit, Michigan, USA. Yes, you are officially in my house, and I am your host, T. Carlita. And like I said before, where the true stories are told, and definitely great music is played. So tonight marks my 60th episode, year 2. Wow, I'm so excited about that. 60 shows, and lots of love and support. Thanks everyone for being part of this process. Tonight in my studio, I'm so honored to welcome, well, he's alter ego manager, Cornelius Harris, but I know him from UR, and you all do too. And he also brought one of his artists, Zhao-ski, we're gonna listen to some unreleased music by him as well. So listen, this is also the first of the month, and I'm going to bless you with the Spirit of 313 mix done by Jon Easley, inspired by Stevie Anderson. So check this out. This music coming on right now is he's going to be celebrating his birthday in Detroit this weekend. Mr. Osunlade is playing at Tangent Galleries this weekend. Information will be found on Facebook. He's going to be playing with Josh Milan and a few other of the local Detroit favorites as well. So let's check out this little bit from Osunlade, and after that I got something from my man Zhao-ski. It's something new from Zhao-ski. It's unreleased, and guess what? You get to hear it here first. All right, this T. Carlita. Enjoy the show. Osunlade, we waiting on you. We're gonna party with you this weekend at Tangent Gallery. Check it out on Facebook.
Thank you. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. You guys, hey, listen, we are so tired, but do you want a little bit more? A little bit more? You know, guys, come on. Hey. Zhao-ski. This is a new type of jazz. This is a jazz of the future. This is jazz of the people. This is not techno. This is not techno. No. This is high-tech jazz.
What's up, Cornelius?
How you doing?
like a magician. It's like I'm like, woo! Thank God for spinning chairs.
There you go.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. That was a hot track. We're gonna find out a little bit more about that track and who that guy was. So, let's get into Cornelius, aka Corn. Right?
I got a lot of AKAs.
I know. Let's see. This one and that one and that one.
Atlantis.
Oh.
The Unknown Writer.
Really? I didn't know nothing about that one.
Yeah. I got a bunch. I got several.
You professional.
Yeah, well, I got a lot of alter egos.
That's why you call it alter ego. So let's talk about real quick. I know you more from hanging out around Underground Resistance. So let's talk about your relationship with UR and how long you've been affiliated with them as well.
It's kind of scary to think about it because I've actually been with Underground Resistance. Actually, I started about 20 years ago.
Wow.
20 years ago.
20 years? Goodness gracious.
Yeah. And so I was involved with UR. Actually, originally I was a freelance writer. And I was writing for a zine with some friends. And I was doing a bunch of stuff. I did some stuff for Metro Times, Dance Music Report, which is an old dance music magazine that used to come out. And I was doing that. And then a group of friends got together and we put out a zine independently.
Okay.
And coming out of that, we actually had our zine distributed through Submerge. Oh. And Submerge is a big electronic music distributor out of Detroit. And so that was how I ended up having a lot of dialogue back and forth with Michael Banks.
Okay.
And so at one point, he and actually the Burden Brothers from 430 West Records, they had approached myself and a few other guys and said, hey, look, how about you guys work with us on some things? And so I ended up first doing press releases and bios and things like that. Then did a tour management, went and did a tour with Aux 88 over in Germany.
Okay.
And after that, Mike had talked to me about managing Underground Resistance, the label. And it went on from there, just kind of continued down that path.
Wow. So let's talk about alter ego management.
Yep.
So it's spawned in. How did it come about, and how long have you actually been doing that?
Well, actually, I'll tell you the funny thing about that is that at one point I was an artist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was an artist. I was going back and forth to New York doing some stuff, and I never had a manager myself.
Okay.
And so it was something where, I always thought, I did okay. Didn't do great, but did okay. And I remember thinking, if I can do okay, I know a bunch of people who are fantastic. And I thought, let me try to get behind some of them.
Okay.
So I had always had that in the back of my head. Mike had talked a lot about that as well. And so I had taken a break. I had taken a hiatus for a few years because I got burned out. I got burned out from dealing with music and whatnot. And when I decided to come back, I had done some management, through Underground Resistance and some other things as well. But officially doing it on the side of Alter Ego, that started about 10 years ago now. And I came back into it and I said, you know what, I'm going to actually put my full energy behind promoting artists that are doing some great stuff and being that other person that I never had.
Right.
So that's what kind of got me back into it.
And I know I went on the website and I noticed, you are, we're known, UR is known, techno, house. It has a certain niche, so to speak. But I looked on the Alter Ego Management site and you have like a very colorful array of alter egos on because when you go to a label or management, if you go to a management company, you kind of like know, okay, this is a hip-hop management company, this is a jazz management, they handle jazz artists, they handle country, you handle some of everything.
Absolutely But here's the thing, the great thing about this place, and it's not just Detroit, but Detroit I think is a big part of it.
Okay.
Because I'm a product of this environment.
Yes, you are.
And especially on the creative side, on the musical side of it. And so I ended up listening to all kinds of music, and I was inspired by all kinds of music. Same goes for most of the artists that I work with. And so very few of the artists do one thing.
True.
Most of the artists that I work with actually have touched on a lot of different areas of music, and there's eclectic and is really diverse in their influences and what they do. So I really kind of pride myself working with folks who might be a little bit different, might not, fit into a box, and that's the thing. All the folks who I'm working with are people who have an open mind creatively and musically, and so it's really for me an honor and a source of pride to be able to work with some of these really incredibly talented people who aren't confined to a box.
You answered the question before I could answer. No, just kidding. So, what kind of artists do you look for?
But you know what?
Expound on that a little bit, please.
No, but actually, truthfully, I don't look for artists, and truth be told, because I've always said one of the things about Detroit as a whole, Detroit is incredibly talented, and you're just across the board. What Detroit doesn't have are the people on the business side of it.
True.
You don't have the managers, you don't have the agents, you don't have a lot of those other positions that are really important to really strengthen the industry here. We've got talent. We've got overflowing with talent. Yeah. It's ridiculous the amount of talent that's coming out of here.
Right.
So one of the things that I am looking for is I'm always looking for people who are interested in interning and helping with the management of artists, our management and booking and things like that for the artists. Because it's important, and it's important that we get more people on that side of the fence. So I'm always looking for that. But I will also say on the artist side of it, and one of the things about all the artists across the board, and I don't think I was even planning for this, is that all the artists, again, they're very open-minded. They're very interested in exploring different avenues of music and creativity. And so they're not really bound by this idea of, well, I have to wear these clothes, or I have to present myself in this one way, and all that kind of stuff. They're very open to saying, no, let's try to do something different. So that's, and again, it's a point of pride, because I appreciate, that's always been, my mindset, and it's great to work with a group of creative people who have that in their head too.
So you have, now you like I said, it's a nice array of artists on your site. So make sure you guys go to Alter Ego Management, Google it, and check it out, because really, when you look at a management company like this, it's very unique. It's very different. You're not going to just go and just see everybody's a saxophone player. Everybody brings a different element, and that's really cool. I guess that's where the alter ego comes from. So let's talk about you brought one of your artists with you tonight. Kind of introduce us to him. And because I just met him by name this morning, yesterday I think. So very recently. Actually, I've seen his picture on your site before. So let's introduce him, and let's rap with him for a few minutes.
Absolutely. Well, what I'm going to say is, as an introduction to this guy,
yeah, there you go,
is that he's someone who actually I first met through hip hop.
Okay.
Years ago. Years ago, he was with a collective, and he was doing some stuff, and I had actually got a chance to listen to a CD, and it was funny. There's a lot of different people on it, and there was one particular track that I gravitated towards, and years later, it was this guy. I realized it was this man right here.
Wow.
So I was already into what he was doing creatively before we actually really got to know each other. Okay. But then again, he was doing some hip hop work in the building over at 3000, where Submerge is located, right next door to the Alter Ego offices, actually. And he was doing some great stuff with that. And well, he's going to explain the rest of it, because he can do a better job of it than I can. So I want to introduce y'all to Zhao-ski.
Zhao-ski, welcome to
In
My House.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming through. So let's talk about this hip hop, techno, house, techno, hip hop. Yeah. See, I'm ready to throw down a couple of. Let me quit, because he's gonna be wanting to sign me. I don't go ahead. So let's talk about. Tell me about how that.
Well, it's funny, because I started off many years ago, like even before I met Corn. But I started off as a DJ. I was like 14, and the first thing I gravitated towards was the house and techno. So, I remember the house parties with Terrence Parker and and going and listen to Jeff Mills on the radio when he was the Wizard. So everybody wanted to be the Wizard. So that's where I started.
Okay.
But as time went on, then hip hop became more popular. Started rapping, started getting more into hip hop. So I started producing, making more hip hop stuff. But my heart has always been there in techno and house. So when I was in the building at 3000, on my downtime I'd be playing some stuff, and Corn would be he'll come over and knock on the door, like, man, what were you playing? I was like, oh, that's just something else I was working on. He was like, so he listened to some stuff. He's like, man, you should really do that. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should, So I started taking it a little bit more seriously, just kind of broadening my horizons and not just like Corn said, like, putting yourself in a box and like, oh, I'm going to be this type of producer. I'm just going to make this kind of, genre of music. Right. And I said, it's just, let's, just do whatever feels good. So, and that's where we are today.
Wow, I should have you spit a few bars to some of your music. So we heard, that was really nice, unreleased. I guess you'll come up with a name for it, inspired by something.
I have some names with some working titles, but yeah.
Okay, so and I also played what do I call it?
Over the Limit. Yeah.
Earlier. Actually, it was so weird because when I went to go down YouTube, I always try to use YouTube as my cheat sheet. And when it came up, I said, I've seen that record before, actually. I'm like, wow, because Mike Clark had it and he showed it to me many, many years ago. I was like, oh my God, that's you. That's what's up. So in the new, in what we just played, or whatever you make, like, what are some of the thoughts, or I always ask, what's in the mind of the producer? What's in the mind of the maker? Do you like chant and meditate, walk around the block? What goes into getting it together?
I'm not a trained musician, like, to where I can actually sit down and play an instrument.
Okay.
I'm one of these new age producers where I can manipulate software very well, but with a lot of the new material I've been working on, I'm very proud of because I'm not a trained musician, that I'm able to actually play melodies and it's kind of unexplainable, but I would sit down and I would just sit in front of my keyboard. And it's almost like something, otherworldly takes over and melodies start to come out. And I'm like, okay. And I wish it's like every time I let somebody hear it, I'm like, you don't understand. I didn't sample any of this. Like, this is me playing. Like, I want to say that every time, but I just kind of restrain myself and, let the music speak for itself. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. It's just, I think it's uniquely Detroit. Everything I do, I think is just uniquely Detroit, and I don't think I have to try hard to do that because that's just
being born here have anything to do with that.
It's like every expression that comes out is just going to express where where I'm from. So I don't have to say like, oh, this is the Detroit sound, or this is this, or this is that. It's just
East side, west side,
right. I just let I let people interpret it, but I do want people to know that this is coming from a place where Detroit, we're in a unique position right now with. The way the city is, I think like in these conditions, like this is where the art springs forth, out of like when, the roughest times and,
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Very, very true. So what's Cornelius really like?
It's my big brother right here.
You paid him good. Dang. Y'all must have got that Popeye's chicken on the way down here, didn't y'all? Or Chicken Shack, Captain Shack chicken. I know how y'all do down there. Dang, Corn. I thought I was going to get some dish on you, man.
Yeah,
Corn is cool, though.
I put most of my dish on Facebook anyway, so.
Oh, yeah. We know you do. Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, y'all find him on Facebook. Cornelius Harris has some of the greatest anthology written. They're about this long. So just scroll down because he's not finished yet, and he's subject to come back. So, Zhao-ski. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot. What dialect? Where the name come from? You don't look like a Zhao-ski.
And I'm actually butchering that name because I know it's like Chinese and it's probably pronounced like Zhao or something like that.
You're doing it the Detroit style.
Yeah, I'm putting a hard Z on it because I'm American, but I actually saw that name in a Reader's Digest. It was an article about this girl who was a violin virtuoso and she was like a child prodigy. So I was like, man, that's a cool name. And I didn't even know what it really meant at the time, but it's like the way it looks. So I was like, I'm going to take that. I was in my hip hop thing. So I was like, I'm going to take that and I'm going to put ski on it. But not even realizing that ski was like slang for like cocaine back in the 80s that people were like, but I said I'm gonna say
didn't know that.
I'm gonna say ski is for short for skills, so it's gonna be like Zao skills, but ski, so I had like this whole twist on that needed to be explained every time I said the name, but years later I found out that Zao actually means above and beyond all, without even knowing it, and of course I'm still saying it with the hard Z. And a lot of people say Zoe or Zao, but I don't even correct them. I just say whatever,
Right.
It just
spell it right, please.
Yeah, just spell it right. That's all.
Spell it right, then we can do the rest. Wow. So, are you performing? Do you perform anywhere? I mean, be it house, hip hop. Where can people see you at?
Actually, I have something coming up next Tuesday at Crossroads in Ypsilanti.
Okay.
I'm doing I'm participating in a friend. He's doing a beat showcase. And I'm like performing on top, like rapping on top of some of his stuff. So it's like we're kind of collaborating. Okay. Speaking of which, this guy, we kind of like have a collaborative work relationship. It's called Starseed that we're kind of like bubbling up with. But I'll be in Ypsilanti next week at Crossroads. So
okay. And you're on Facebook too?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on the internet. I'm on Instagram. All over the place.
Huh? Okay.
Yes. So, please. The website is blackoperations.com. Music can be found at submerge.com. Mm-hmm. And Instagram, Black Operations, Zhao-ski, like just Google it and it'll all pop up.
Awesome. So let's get back over here to Cornelius, or as Mike say, call Corn, Tina, call Corn. Call Corn. Tell him I said it was okay. Call Corn. Because then when I call you, did you talk to Mike yet? Yes, I talked to Mike before I talked to you. That's the only reason I'm calling you. I already know the protocol. Talk to him first, get his okay, then talk to you, get his okay, and then come back. I know how it works. See what I got to go. I'm the sister. Pays to be the. I'm not even the only girl. That's what makes it so bad. All right.
But we love you.
See? I love y'all too, though. Seriously, y'all my heart and soul. So listen, the city is. I guess have they started sweeping the sidewalk yet, and mopping it and dusting it and sweeping it and. How's that monorail thing looking down there? Is it almost done yet? No, just kidding. 2016, right? So they say
it looks like a mess. That's what it looks like. It looks like you can't drive up and down Woodward.
I know. It was crazy because, like, during Christmas time, I did the out the house thing. Mm-hmm. So I drove down. I said, this is what look, all my international friends, this is what Woodward's going to look like. It doesn't look, a bomb didn't hit us. It's really under construction, guaranteed to be under the same construction when you get here. So how's traffic down there?
Crazy. I'll tell you, it's really interesting because there's a lot of stuff that is going on with the city, mm-hmm. and with me having an office right there on the boulevard right there. I see it and I deal with it every time I drive into work. The exit that I normally would take is no longer there. So they
removed the exit.
They got rid of the exit.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Is that gonna be a one way in, one way out kind
I
of
don't
thing?
know what they're doing. That's the problem. That and that is a consistent problem with the city right now. Is that stuff is going on and nobody really knows what is going on and what the actual plan is. And there's just that report about the cars for the system they were doing, and that the cars weren't good, and they were paying thousands and thousands of dollars to hold on to something that was worthless. Mm-hmm. And so those kind of things are going on, and again, the city doesn't know.
Right.
So if the city doesn't know, it's hard for the people to know.
Right.
So we're just riding it out. Mm-hmm. We're just riding it out. I mean, we've been through worse. So
True. Hey, we survived the riot. What year was that riot, Grinder?
Well,
we survived riot.
Now, I wasn't there for that, but
I was hovering around at 2 years old. I was trying to walk. I might not even been out of diapers yet. Who knows? But so movement. Mm-hmm. What people don't understand, movement is this big weekend. But you and I know movement is going on right now. I mean, people think that the only time people come to Submerge, the only time the internationals come to Detroit is for 4 days, once a year.
Oh, no.
So just, what's it like just a day or a week or normal around there?
You know what ends up happening is, people come throughout the year. Throughout the year, we've got people who will drop through for different reasons and want to come and get some records from the source and things like that. So that's an ongoing thing, and that doesn't stop. I will say that for that week before and after the festival, it's crazy. I'll say at that point, we do get a flood of people, and it gets to be pretty hectic. And we always try to warn people in advance that if you try to catch somebody during that time, the odds are going to be very slim. You might see somebody in passing, but the odds of having a conversation, they're low because people are busy. People are rushing and right in the middle of it. And truth be told, even during the times outside of the festival, there are times when we ask that people who want to come to the shop or whatever else or get a tour, that they make an appointment. But we always have people who want to drop in. And we try to stress that, if you drop in, you're kind of playing roulette because we're working.
Right.
And there are times when we can't, not that we don't want to have people come through, but we just can't. But we've been working on that too and trying to find different ways to accommodate people, even when it might be an awkward moment or whatnot. But it's always best for people to make an appointment, and they can do that actually by sending an email over to support@submerge.com. And if you do that, you can actually arrange for a time to come through and get a tour and be able to see. We've got the only permanent exhibit of techno really in the world. So a lot of people come just to get the tour. So it's something that we have a lot of pride in, and we're very happy to give people those tours. So we always stress, hey, you know what? Feel free to come through. Just send an email and give us a heads up so that we can be ready to give our best to them.
So, in preparing for that weekend or the week before, the week of, and the week after, who are some of the what would be one of the persons or people or groups that you were couldn't believe, or has anybody really oh my God, I can't believe? I mean, you've seen them all, so is there anybody that has just oh my God, I can't believe that this person is interested in or being here?
What is really, really amazing to me,
okay,
and I'm not even playing with this, are the fans.
Yes.
There are people who have traveled all across the planet with it being their mission to come into that building and to go into the shop. And it's inspiring. It's really inspiring because, when you're working on stuff, you don't necessarily know what the public is thinking, or you don't know how you're impacting, people out there.
Right.
And to have somebody spend the money to fly out and the time and all of that just to get out there and to have them tell their stories about why they came out and how they were inspired by this song or that song, it really gives you a boost. It really, really gives you a boost, and especially when you are exhausted and you sometimes start to wonder, and it happens to everybody, where you wonder, okay, is anybody paying attention to this? Does anybody believe, what's going on? And to get that, it means a lot. And so I would say the fans are really the ones that I'm always really impressed with and really have a lot of respect for. And the truth of the matter is, without them, we wouldn't be doing anything that we do. They're the ones who support and have been in this for however long.
Right. So what I'm going to do, I thank you, Cornelius, as always. My heart, my love, I'm ready. I'm going to have my camera rolling around, running into somebody, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And Zhao-ski, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you as well, and I look forward to hearing more from you and playing more of your music. That's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be hot and good. So, Cornelius, while you say your last few lines, I'm going to cue up for the commercial. And then after the commercial, this is the first of the month. And so with it being the first of the month, we always do the Spirit of 313 mix. Let me tell you a story. Spirit of 313 mix came from a guy over in London. He's been watching the show from the beginning. And then we start talking about Detroit and 313. He got real deep. He sends me scriptures and he sends me this track list. So for a whole year, I got like 2 years worth of track lists. And I said, you know what? I'm sitting on these playlists and I'm not a DJ. So Jon Easley, I contacted him and I said, can you put these together? And I'm going to do the Spirit of 313 mix. So we start the month. That's my way of like sanctifying the month, I guess. Filling it with some good 313 spirit, and that's how we started. So this is the Spirit of 313 coming up on the other side of the commercial. Cornelius, Zhao-ski, it's been an honor, pleasure. Corn, while he zooms in, let everybody know how they can reach you and say your last few little words there, and I'll cut you off. Like they do the music, I'll cut you off.
Oh, like the Oscars.
Yeah, you already know.
Are you gonna give me an award?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. You can take that home. All right, Corn, go ahead.
Okay. In order to contact me, if you're interested in booking any of the artists, or if you want to look into licensing or anything like that, you can contact me at Cornelius, which is Cornelius, at Alter Ego Management just being MGT.com. You can reach me that way. Or you can contact me on Facebook, where it's very easy to catch me that way. I also wanted to stress that this man right here, as well as Nomadico, DJ Dex, Mark Flash, and a bunch of other guys have all got some upcoming releases. So I would say stay tuned to www.submerge.com to see what these new releases are, because I swear to you, you're going to be hearing some of the best music you ever heard, and you will feel sorry if you do not keep track.
Enough said.
All right. Let's see here. Commercial. You Are in My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
It's so low for me. It's so low for me.
Hair Wars is searching for the best. Coming Sunday, April 26, 2015. It's the Hair Wars Color Show. Short, long, and ridiculous. At the beautiful Adobe Hotel, formerly the Hyatt Regency in Dearborn. Also featuring techno and house music mixing live on stage.
For real?
Hump the Grinders Hair Wars. Sunday, April 26, 2015. Sponsored by Impro. Exposing hair entertainment around the world.
Blind to see through you and me, how our world can be so free. Free to those who have the time to teach the young. Standing on the edge of our freedom. Love is the key for you and me.
our song. At times we may be crying, and nothing's even wrong. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, the spirit of 313. Thank you, Jon Easley and Stevie Anderson. The reason why we sing, the spirit of 313 is definitely in this city of Detroit, and it's in this house tonight. I want to thank my man, my brother, Cornelius, and Mr. Zhao-ski for hanging out with me tonight. Listen, let me turn this down just a tad bit. Set your electronic devices for next week. I guess UR is just taking over the studio. Let me not even say Mr. We're going to call him Brother Abdul Kadim Haq will be here next week, taking us on his 25 years of an inspirational journey through a called Techno visual art. He's got a book out, and he played a lot of tribute to underground resistance and a lot of other electronic inspires for the city. So guess what? That's him next week. This is T. Carlita. I am the producer and your show host. Happy to be here. Happy to spend another first of the month Spirit of 313 mix. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to let the Spirit of 313 take us out. Thank you, Jon. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Hump over there. This is me and you. Love you. Good night. Next week.
Right.
Wesley Boulevard.